So in today's video, we're going to be recapping what we went over in Monday's video, which is alt season, showing you the key metrics to keep an eye on and showing you also why it's so important when to time that rotation of profits from Bitcoin into altcoins to not only maximize returns, but also saving you from losing a lot of Bitcoin value. So let's get into it. So let's get straight into it then, onto the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, if you don't know what this is, or the ETH BTC chart, or how they all work together, then go and watch Monday's video where I explain it all in detail and also talk about some cycle patterns which I believe are playing out again. So go check that out. But if you do fully understand what's going on, then let's just get straight into it. As I say, or as I've talked about before, Bitcoin dominance, I believe, may well have one more leg up to around the 63-64% mark. Now, over the last weekend and on Monday, it looked like we were starting to, or it looked like things were pulling back slightly, but as you can see, only came down to around 58%, and now you can see that we are heading back up. If we go down onto the daily time frame, you can see that pullback there happened around, or it actually happened around late last week into the weekend, and then we started to bounce onto at the beginning of this week. And I think that trend will continue, as I talked about on Monday as well, the cyclical trend that we've seen in past cycles as well. Now, as we, if you've been in the space for a couple of years, if you remember the 2021 altcoin cycle, or alt season, I should say, from January 21 all the way into the summer, it was absolutely crazy. Altcoins popping off like mad. So hopefully we get something similar like that going into 2025. As I say, I think one more leg up to around that 63-64% mark. And if we take the ETH BTC chart with some added confluence, again, I did warn on Monday about the fact that we were potentially having a bearish retest of this previous level of support of 0.04. You can see the ETH BTC chart looks absolutely horrendous, especially this monthly and weekly candles at the moment. And it doesn't get any prettier when you take a look at the daily. Look at that. So we had a little pump at the end of last week, as I say, when Bitcoin dominance was having that pullback. ETH BTC had a pump, and then you can see it's just fully retraced that move and making new lows. So you can see how the Bitcoin dominance chart and ETH BTC chart are basically an inverse of each other. Of course, Bitcoin dominance going up means bad news for altcoins. ETH BTC going up means good news for altcoins. However, we've not seen ETH BTC go up for a long time, and you can see this very bearish looking candle forming on the higher time frames. We may well see it come all the way down to 0.027, which would be a massive drop from here. In terms of percentages, you are looking at around another 20% on ETH BTC, which, as I say, could coincide with Bitcoin dominance having that final leg up to around 64%, where hopefully it tops out, and then we see that rotation of capital from Bitcoin into the altcoins. The other chart to keep an eye on, as I talked about before as well, is the total 3 BTC. So this is basically the entire crypto space versus Bitcoin, and you can see pretty much had a bearish retest of that big level of previous support. You can see how key this level has been both in the past and over the past couple of months as well. The past 3-4 months it held a support, then we lost it last month, and you pretty much had a bearish retest of it this monthly candle, and goodness knows where this might end up. So keeping an eye on those three. At the moment, it is not the time to be rotating from Bitcoin into altcoins just yet. However, there are some anomalies. There are some altcoins that obviously are popping off against their BTC pairs, and we're going to be going over that in just a second and showing you why it's so important as to choose which altcoins and when to get into them. So let's get into the pairs that we talked about on Monday's video. So near BTC on the weekly time frame, if we zoom in, so I talked about the fact that this level of support on near about 6,500 sats, big key level of support. We lost that a couple of weeks ago. We've come up, had a bearish retest of it and rejecting it. So as you can see, if you were FOMOing in, trying to chase these candles, you'd actually be losing BTC value here. In fact, from the peak, we are down 8% from where we peaked. In fact, what day was that? We peaked in around on Monday. So as I say, over the weekend, people got quite excited about altcoins potentially starting an alt season. But as we just saw on the key indicators of Bitcoin dominance, ETH BTC and total 3 BTC, it is not time for that yet. It's basically just a bear market rally or a dead cat bounce. And you, as I talked about on Monday, straight into this level of resistance on near. So until it flips this, weekly level as support and potentially closes above the weekly moving average 21, not the time to be getting into near with your Bitcoin, in my personal opinion. If you take a look at AVAX, again, I talked about this level on Monday, so this level between 4,000 and 4,170 sats. I talked about the need for this to flip resistance into support and also close above this weekly moving average 21. Again, you can see we literally tagged the moving average 21 on the weekly time frame and have rejected, and we're clearly going to be closing below this level of resistance again, or very strong possibility. I can't see this turning around over the weekend, but you can see 15% down if you bought the top of that candle in the BTC pair. So not a good look for AVAX. Injective, again, exactly the same scenario. I talked about this level of weekly previous support now being resistance, between 3,170 sats, give or take, and 3,300 sats. Talked about needing to close above this level and the weekly moving average 21. I talked about how it had been used as resistance the past, back in September and mid-October. So again, didn't manage to close above it, rejected, and we're pretty much given up all of last week's gains on the Injective BTC pair. If we take a look at the percentage, it's down 20% from the top of last week down into this week. And as I've talked about before, I used the example of ADA, which we'll go over in a second. The fact that, yes, you may well be making USD gains on these assets. So if you're in near AVAX and Injective, you might be making USD profits, but where the altcoin BTC pair is doing badly, that means that you would have actually been better off in BTC, because BTC is gaining faster than the altcoin itself. So yes, you may have well made USD gains on these altcoin assets. However, you would have made more if you were in BTC instead. And that's the thing you need to understand. Again, if you don't quite understand that, go and check out Monday's video where I go over it in more detail. Now, ADA is the outlier, the anomaly, which I talked about earlier in the video, where these three assets have all lost ground against BTC. However, ADA BTC, as I talked about in Monday's video, has done a perfect retest of this level of resistance as support. So I actually talked about this in our Learning Crypto Discord. So this is in the members trade chat. And as you can see, I talked about it back on the 12th, which would have been Tuesday, I believe it was. Talked about the fact that we had broken above this weekly level of support, come back and held it, broken above that level of resistance, come back, retested it and support, and looked like a very good buy indeed. Between 620 and 600 sats, as you can see here, there it is, between 600 and 620 sats is where I pointed out. So if you want to get involved in a community, like-minded individuals investing and trading, go check out our website, learningcrypto.co.uk, to get access to that Discord. We've got a huge sale on at the moment, 70% off annual plans until the 1st of December. Or if you just want the monthly, £10 a month for premium membership, £20 a month for the Traders Lounge. And that, what I posted in there, was in the members trades chat, which comes with the premium membership. So that wasn't even in the Traders Lounge. Traders Lounge, loads of trades every day, from scalping, swing trades, and all that good stuff. But as I say, going back to ADA, talked about the fact that we hit these monthly range lows on a weekly time frame, closed above this weekly level of resistance, as I talked about on Monday, come back, retested it as support, held the weekly moving average 21 as well. So it was an absolute perfect entry. Come down a little bit so far today, but still 20% up from that retest, that weekly level. And if you zoom out, it has been a huge level of both resistance and support. And it was actually the start of the altcoin, or the ADA BTC run, back in December 2020, January 2021. So this could be one of those outliers. It's a bit of a retail coin, and obviously retail are coming back into the market. You can see that with the Coinbase app ranking climbing through the charts. So as I say, this looks like a perfect signal to me that ADA may well be a good altcoin to rotate some Bitcoin into at the moment. As I say, your invalidation is just to close back below 600 sats. Now, of course, the risk reward isn't quite as good now that it has bounced, because now you're looking at a potential 20% loss if it does get down there. However, if you bought on this weekly level, you're looking very good indeed. And if you take a look at the ADA USDT pair, again, still looking pretty good as well. It's holding this weekly level support here at 57 cents rather than sats on the weekly level. In terms of the daily time frame as well, it's came down held this daily fair value gap here at 55 cents, and now it's looking to try and break out of this daily level of resistance here at 63 cents. You can see previous level of support, resistance back here all the way back in April 2024, and now it was resistance on Sunday and on Tuesday as well. So daily close above this and then hold it at support, and I think ADA could be going on another leg. And obviously if it outperforms BTC, so if it goes up faster in its USDT pair than BTC goes up, then you're going to see this ADA BTC chart go up as well, and you're going to be making not only USDT gains but or dollar gains, but also BTC gains as well. So drop it in the comments below what altcoins you're choosing for this alt season. Like the video if you enjoyed the content, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.